A Son of the Sun by Jack London. Narrated by Sebastian Blackwood. Chapter 1. A Son of the Sun. The Willyvav lay in the passage between the shore reef and the outer reef. From the latter came the low murmur of a lazy surf, but the sheltered stretch of water, not more than 100 yards across to the white beach of pounded coral sand, was of glass-like smoothness. Narrow as was the passage, and anchored as she was in the shoaless place that gave room to swing, the Willyvav's chain rode up and down a clean 100 feet. Its course could be traced over the bottom of living coral. Like some monstrous snake, the rusty chain's slack wandered over the ocean floor, crossing and recrossing itself several times and fetching up finally at the idle anchor. Big rock cod, done and mottled, played warily in and out of the coral. Other fish, grotesque of form and color, were brazenly indifferent, even when a big fish shark drifted sluggishly along and sent the rock cod scuttling for their favorite crevices. On deck, for'ard, a dozen blacks pottered clumsily at scraping the teak rail. They were as inexpert at their work as so many monkeys. In fact, they looked very much like monkeys of some enlarged and prehistoric type. Their eyes had in them the querulous plaintiveness of the monkey. Their faces were even less symmetrical than the monkey's, and, hairless of body, they were far more ungarment than any monkey, for clothes they had none. Decorated they were as no monkey ever was. In holes in their ears they carried short clay pipes, rings of turtle shell, huge plugs of wood, rusty wire nails, and empty rifle cartridges. The caliber of a Winchester rifle was the smallest hole an ear bore. Some of the largest holes were inches in diameter, and any single ear averaged from 3 to half a dozen holes. Spikes and bodkins of polished bone or petrified shell were thrust through their noses. On the chest of one hung a white doorknob, on the chest of another the handle of a china cup, on the chest of a third the brass cogwheel of an alarm clock. They chattered in queer, falsetto voices, and, combined, did no more work than a single white sailor. Aft, under an awning, were 2 white men. Each was clad in a 6-penny undershirt and wrapped about the loins with a strip of cloth. Belted about the middle of each was a revolver and tobacco pouch. The sweat stood out on their skin in myriads of globules. Here and there the globules coalesced in tiny streams that dripped to the heated deck and almost immediately evaporated. The lean, dark-eyed man wiped his fingers wet with a stinging stream from his forehead and flung it from him with a weary curse. Wearily, and without hope, he gazed seaward across the outer reef, and at the tops of the palms along the beach. 8 o'clock, and hell don't get hot till noon, he complained. Wish to God for...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?